back to the RYOKO Show, the podcast that inspires and empowers you to create a life you truly love. I'm RYOKO. Today, we are diving into something that can really change the way you look at your life and your future. We are going to talk about how our brains, by default, are wired to use our past memories to judge and predict our future, and how that might be holding us back from the life we truly want to live. Our brains are pretty amazing. They are constantly working behind the scenes, processing a ton of information, making decisions, and helping us get through each day. Our brains are also creatures of habit. They tend to take shortcuts by relying on past experiences to figure out what's happening now and to guess what might happen next. This can save us energy, but it can also keep us stuck in the same old patterns. Sometimes we think we are just procrastinating because we are lazy, not feeling good enough, or lack motivation. But in reality, our brain is just stuck in a loop. Our brains don't like change because it's unpredictable and use more energy. So they pull us back into what's familiar. It's not that we are incapable, it's just that our brains prefer sticking to what's tried and tested and what's familiar. So it's kind of like using an old map to find your way around a new city. Sometimes it'll get you where you need to go, but a lot of time it keeps you going in circles, stuck in the same old patterns, wondering why nothing ever really changes. We keep doing what we've always done. Then we are surprised when we end up in the same place. But just because our brains are wired this way doesn't mean we have to stay stuck. When we start noticing these habits and patterns, we can consciously choose to let go of the habits and patterns that no longer serve us. Awareness gives us a choice. It's like updating the old map with new roads and routes and giving ourselves a better chance to explore new possibilities and create the changes we've been looking for. Now think about this for a moment. How often do you make decisions based on what's happened to you in the past? How often do you let past failure, disappointments, or even success shape your vision of what's possible for your future? The truth is, when we predict the future based on our past experiences, we limit ourselves. We limit our potential, our happiness, and our ability to create the life we truly desire. But what if there is a different way? What if instead of letting our past dictate our future, we could start thinking from our future self's perspective? Imagine yourself a few years from now, living the life you've always dreamed of. You've achieved your aspirations, overcome your challenges, and you're living in alignment with your true desires. The version of you has already done the work, took risks, made the tough choices, and is now enjoying the life that you really want to live. Now ask yourself, what choices did that future version of you make to get there? What mindset did they adopt? What actions did they take, even when it was uncomfortable? This is the power of reverse engineering your life. Instead of letting your past determine your future, start making decisions today based on the wisdom and success of your future self. Let's take a practical example. Maybe you're facing a decision right now. It could be something small, like whether or not take on a new project at work, or something bigger, like deciding to change careers or start a new business. Ask yourself, if I were my future self, the one who's already successful and living my dream life, what choice would I make today? Would you play it safe, like you've always done in the past? Or would you take the small leap of faith, knowing that it's what your future self would want you to do? The choices you make by thinking in reverse from the future are likely to be different and far more aligned with the life you truly want to create than the ones you've made by relying solely on your past experiences. I know this is easier said than done. It takes courage and act from this place of future thinking, especially when your present reality might look nothing like the future you desire. It can feel impossible, frustrating, or even scary to think about making these changes, especially when your current life seems so different from the future you envision. I've been there myself. But when you start making decisions from the perspective of your future self, you begin to shift your reality. Your actions start aligning with your highest aspirations. You stop playing small and start embracing the greatness within you. So I encourage you to take baby steps. The next time you're faced with the decision, big or small, pause and ask yourself, what would my future self do? Would my future self take this action? If the answer is yes, then take that action based on that choice. If it's a no, that's okay too. Celebrate yourself for noticing and giving yourself the space to ask. Each time you do this, you'll be one step closer to making those future-focused decisions and taking action when it counts. When you do this constantly, you'll notice that your reality will begin to move in the direction of your dreams, and you'll start to see opportunities where there were once obstacles, and you'll feel more empowered to create the life you've always wanted. Remember, the future isn't something that happens to us. It's something that we create, one decision at a time. By thinking in reverse and acting from the perspective of your future self, you are setting yourself up for success and fulfillment. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this episode has inspired you to start thinking differently about your future and choices you make today. If you like this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review, and share it with someone who could benefit from hearing this message. And if you haven't already, go to the show notes and grab a free guide to unlock the solid steps to transform your life. Until next time, keep shining.